Stop what you are doing for just 1 second and listen to me. I want you to place your hand over your chest. Feel that rhythm? It's been there since before you were born. It has beaten roughly 2.5 billion times if you've reached the age of 70. But here is the truth that almost no doctor is sitting down to explain to you in plain English. After the age of 60, the rules of your heart change. The way it processes oxygen, the way it responds to stress, and even the way it handles the blood pressure medication you might be taking. Everything enters a new, delicate phase. Most people believe that heart health is a game of waiting for something to go wrong. We wait for the chest pain, we wait for the shortness of breath, or we wait for the scary numbers on a lab report. But what if I told you that the most significant changes to your heart aren't happening during a heart attack? They are happening right now in the quiet moments, while you're sitting on your porch, while you're eating your dinner, and especially while you are sleeping. I am Dr. James, and today I am going to share with you what I call the Senior Heart Blueprint. This is the information that bridges the gap between what you see in a medical textbook and what you actually feel in your body every day. By the end of this video, you will understand the 3 silent biological shifts that happen to every heart after 60. More importantly, I'm going to reveal the nighttime trigger that is responsible for more early morning cardiac events than almost any other factor. And I'll give you a simple 3-minute habit that can effectively resync your heart's electrical system tonight. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about giving your heart the specific care it deserves for the next 30 years of your life. The architecture of the aging heart. To understand how to protect your heart, you first have to understand how it's changing. Imagine your heart is like the plumbing in a beautiful historic home. When the house was built, the pipes were copper, flexible, clean, and capable of handling high pressure without a problem. But as the decades pass, those pipes naturally begin to mineralize. They get a bit stiffer. In medical terms, we call this arterial stiffness. This isn't necessarily a disease. It is a part of the biological clock. However, because the pipes, your arteries, are less flexible, your heart muscle has to pump with significantly more force to get blood to your brain and your toes. This extra work causes the heart muscle to thicken. We call this left ventricular hypertrophy. While a thick bicep is a good thing, a thick heart is not. A thick heart is a stiff heart. It doesn't fill up with blood as easily, and it doesn't relax as well between beats. If you've noticed that you get winded a little easier when walking up a flight of stairs, or if you feel a thumping in your chest when you lay down at night, you aren't just getting old. Your heart is physically remodeling itself to compensate for stiffer pipes. The nocturnal dip mystery. Here is the first thing every senior needs to know. There is a phenomenon called the nocturnal dip. In a healthy young heart, your blood pressure should drop by about 10% to 20% the moment you fall asleep. This is the heart's only real vacation. It's the time when the muscle cells repair their DNA and flush out metabolic waste. But as we pass 60, many of us become what we call non-dippers. Because of stress, diet, or the stiffness we just talked about, our blood pressure stays high all night long. Your heart is working a double shift, 24 hours a day. When your heart doesn't get that nighttime dip, the risk of a stroke or a heart event in the morning triples. Why? Because the heart is exhausted. It's been running a marathon while you were dreaming. The simple fix. To help your heart dip at night, you need to manage your thermal rhythm. Research shows that for seniors, a bedroom that is even 2 degrees too warm can keep the heart rate elevated by 5 to 10 beats per minute all night. Cooling your room to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is one of the most effective, non-pharmaceutical ways to lower your nighttime cardiac workload. The truth about normal blood pressure. Now, I need to have a very honest conversation with you about your numbers. If you are 75 years old and your doctor is aggressively trying to push your blood pressure down to 110/70, you need to ask a very important question. Is there enough pressure left to reach my brain? I've seen too many seniors suffering from brain fog, dizziness, and even frequent falls because they are over-medicated. When your arteries are stiff, as they naturally are after 60, you actually need a slightly higher pressure to ensure that blood can overcome gravity and reach the very top of your head. A landmark study showed that for adults over 70, a systolic pressure, the top number, of 135 or even 140 was actually associated with better cognitive function and fewer falls than those forced down to 120. Don't chase a perfect number if it makes you feel like a zombie. Your heart's job is to serve your brain, not just to look good on a chart. If you feel dizzy when you stand up, your heart is telling you that the pressure is too low. Listen to it. The 3 silent heart killers and how to stop them. Aside from the biology of aging, there are 3 specific habits I see in my senior patients that are doing more damage than high cholesterol ever could. 1. The evening dehydration trap. I know why you do it. You stop drinking water at 5 p.m. because you don't want to wake up 3 times to use the bathroom. But here is the price. By 3 a.m., your blood volume has dropped, making your blood thicker and stickier. Your heart has to strain to pump this sludge through your system. This is why the 4 a.m. heart attack is so common. The fix: have a small glass of room temperature water with a pinch of Celtic sea salt before bed. The salt helps the water stay in your cells instead of going straight to your bladder. 2. The magnesium gap. Your heart is an electrical pump. It requires minerals to tell it when to contract and when to relax. Magnesium is the relaxer. Without it, the heart stays in a state of constant tension, leading to palpitations and AFib. Most seniors are chronically deficient because our soil is depleted, and many blood pressure meds actually flush magnesium out of the body. The fix: you don't necessarily need a pill. A handful of pumpkin seeds or a square of dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, in the afternoon can provide the magnesium spark your heart's electrical system is starving for. 3. The sit-still stagnation. We are told to rest as we get older, but for the heart, total rest is a slow poison. When you sit for 4 hours watching the news, blood pools in your legs. Your heart has to work 3 times harder to pull that blood back up against gravity. The fix: the commercial break walk. Every time a commercial comes on, stand up and march in place for 60 seconds. This uses your calf muscles, which we call the second heart, to pump blood back up to your chest, giving your primary heart a much-needed break. The one ingredient. Your heart is starving. For if I could give every senior watching this one superfood for their heart, it wouldn't be a complicated supplement. It would be nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas your body produces that tells your arteries to open up. It's like a natural vasodilator. When you are 20, you produce it in abundance. By the time you are 60, your production has dropped by 50% or more. This is why your blood pressure starts to creep up. How do you get it back? You feed the bacteria in your mouth and gut the precursors they need. The protocol: eat a small portion of roasted beets or a handful of arugula, rocket, every single day. These are packed with natural nitrates. When you chew them, your saliva converts them into nitric oxide. Within 2 hours, your arteries literally relax and your heart doesn't have to push nearly as hard. It is simple, it is cheap, and it is more effective for arterial flexibility than almost anything I could prescribe. A message of hope. I know that talking about the heart can feel heavy. It's the organ that represents our life, our emotions, and our time left on this earth. But I want you to look at your heart differently after today. Your heart isn't a fragile vase that is destined to crack. It is a biological masterpiece that has spent 6, 7, or 8 decades adapting to everything you've thrown at it. It is incredibly forgiving. When you start drinking that extra glass of water, when you cool down your bedroom, and when you give it the magnesium and nitrates it needs, the heart responds. I have seen 80-year-old hearts become more efficient and younger in their function within just 90 days of these simple changes. You are not broken because you are over 60. You are just in a new season that requires a different set of tools. Your action plan for tonight. I don't want you to just watch this and move on to the next video. I want you to take one action tonight. Check your room temperature. Lower it. Give your heart that nocturnal dip. The mineral sip. That small glass of salted water. Keep your blood flowing smoothly while you sleep. The gratitude beat. Before you fall asleep, put your hand on your heart again. Thank it for the 2.5 billion beats it has given you. When we lower our stress and move into a state of gratitude, our nervous system shifts from fight or flight to rest and digest. This lowers your heart rate instantly. I am Dr. James. If this video spoke to you today, if it made you feel like you finally understand what's happening inside your chest, I want you to do me a favor. Go down to the comments and type the word thumping. I want to see how many of you have actually felt your heart working hard lately. I read those comments and they helped me decide which medical mysteries to tackle next. Also, please share this with one person you love who is over the age of 60. Most seniors are living in fear of their hearts, but they don't have to. Knowledge is the best medicine we have. Subscribe to this channel to join our community. We are proving every day that your 60s, 70s, and 80s can be the healthiest decades of your life. Thank you for your time, thank you for your heart, and as always, take exquisite care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next consultation.